Chiang Mai, also spelled Chiang Mai, largest city in northern Thailand and the third largest city in the nation after metropolitan Bangkok and Nakhon Ratchasima. It is located on the Ping River, a major tributary of the Chao Phraya River, near the center of a fertile intermontane basin at an elevation of 1,100 feet, 335 meters. It serves as the religious, economic, cultural, educational, and transportation center for both northern Thailand and part of neighboring Myanmar, Burma. Once the capital of an independent kingdom, the city also has strong cultural ties with Laos. The settlement, founded as a royal residence in 1292 and as a town in 1296, served as the capital of the Lanna Thai kingdom until 1558, when it fell to the Myanmar. In 1774 the Siamese king Thaksin drove out the Myanmar, but Chiang Mai retained a degree of independence from Bangkok until the late 19th century. In contrast to the normally densely populated Asian city, Chiang Mai has the appearance of a large village, orderly, clean, traditional, and almost sprawling. The older part of town, particularly the 18th century walled settlement, is on the west bank of the river. It contains ruins of many 13th and 14th century temples. The modern East Bank portion is a more open area. Two bridges cross the broad Ping River. Chiang Mai is a flourishing tourist and resort center. Phu Ping Palace, the summer home of the Thai royal family, is nearby. The city is renowned as a center of Thai handicrafts. Small villages nearby specialize in crafts such as silverwork, wood carving, and making pottery, umbrellas, and lacquerware. Traditional Thai silk is woven at San Kampong to the east. Educational facilities include the Northern Technical Institute, 1957, the Maejo Institute of Agricultural Technology, 1934, and Chiang Mai University, 1964. Affiliated with the university are the Tribal Research Center, the Lanna Thai Social Sciences Research Center, the Regional Center of Mineral Resources, the Industrial Economic Center of Northern Thailand, the Anemia and Malnutrition Research Center, and the Multiple Cropping Project. Chiang Mai is the terminus of the railway of 467 miles, 752 kilometers, from Bangkok and is also linked to southern Thailand by road and air. It has an international airport. The temple complex of Wat Phra That Doi Suthep is one of Thailand's most famous pilgrimage sites. The temple lies at an elevation of 3,520 feet, 1,073 meters, on the slopes of Mount Suthep, one of Thailand's highest peaks, 5,528 feet, 1,685 m, just outside the city. The Doi Pui National Park occupies 40,000 acres, 16,000 hectares, around the mountain. King Kuna built the monastery of the complex in the 14th century. Its spired pagoda is said to hold relics of the Buddha. Many other temples are in the city itself. Wat Phra Singh, 1345, houses Phra Singh, the most venerated Buddha figure of the north. Wat Chedi Luang, 1411, housed Bangkok's famous Emerald Buddha during the 15th and 16th centuries. Pop, 2000, 174,438. Chiang Mai Agreement, also called Chiang Mai Initiative, set of bilateral currency swap arrangements established at Chiang Mai, Thailand, in May 2000 by the members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, with the addition of Japan, China, and South Korea, collectively referred to as ASEAN Plus 3. The agreement was meant to complement the International Monetary Fund, IMF, by providing emergency infusions of foreign currency to member countries suffering from liquidity crises. It also established a mechanism for monitoring capital flows and economic conditions through regular contacts between financial authorities in the region. Created in the wake of the 1997–98 Asian financial crisis, the agreement presents an important example of financial cooperation in the region. The swap system comprises two main components: an expanded ASEAN swap arrangement and a network of bilateral swap and repurchase agreements. The former built upon a 1997 agreement involving 5 of the ASEAN countries and extended participation to the rest of ASEAN. As each participating member can draw upon only twice the amount it has contributed, the economic impact of a swap through this mechanism is likely to be insignificant. The network of bilateral swap and repurchase agreements provides significantly greater short-term liquidity. Under them, borrowing countries typically receive dollars in exchange for a local currency, an exception being the swap arrangement between China and Japan, which exchanges yen for renminbi for a fixed period of time, usually 3 months, after which the borrower can renew the swap or pay it back to the lending country's central bank. Swap agreements can be reciprocal or unidirectional, depending on a country's reserves of foreign currency. For example, under Japan's agreements with the ASEAN states, only the ASEAN states can initiate a swap, owing to Japan's large foreign reserves, while the agreement between Japan and China can be activated by either party. The Chiang Mai Agreement was explicitly designed to complement the IMF's lending practice. The activation of a currency swap is contingent upon the drawing state's acceptance of an IMF structural adjustment program, the exception being the agreement between Japan and China. Critics have raised concerns that deepening regional integration could ultimately supplant international institutions in the region and isolate extra-regional states. Moreover, the 1997–98 Asian financial crisis showed that the region is susceptible to economic contagion, suggesting that liquidity should come from outside the region rather than from within it. Nevertheless, the Chiang Mai Agreement has fueled discussion about deeper cooperation in the future, such as transforming the bilateral swap agreements into a true multilateral institution and creating a unified Asian currency.